Imperial knights that serve the ruinous powers have been a thorn in the Imperium's back since the days of the Horus Heresy, when entire knight houses betrayed the Emperor of Mankind and sided with the War Master Horus. Some of these treacherous Chaos Knights still march against mankind in the current millennium, their mutated armor having survived the 10,000-year-long war. One of these knight houses is House Makabius. And with that said, I want to welcome you guys back to another 40 Facts about the 40K universe. I am your host, Gersh1, and today we're going to be talking about the Traitor House Makabius. If you guys are new to the channel, we post Warhammer 40K lore videos every single day. What I try to do is I create a video with a lore portion, a hobby portion, and then a community portion where I answer the questions that you guys left off in the previous video. So if you guys have any comments that you guys would like me to react to in tomorrow's video, comment down in the comment section below. And this isn't really a Nurgle video, but this night house is it ends up being tied to the Primarch Mortarion, so I just wanted to throw that out there, because usually what happens is when I get sick, I've been sick right now, which is why my nose is so nasally and stuff, or the sound is so nasally, but what I try to do is when I get sick, I try to create videos on the god of disease and decay, Nurgle. So in this situation, it's a little bit different, just so that I don't constantly throw out Nurgle videos, but I hope you guys enjoy. But with all that said, let's get into 40 facts on House Makabius. One of the many night worlds seated towards the end of the Dark Age of technology was the planet of Baroda. This world was a terrestrial-type planet with a wide range of climates that created a unique and fertile land. The vegetation provided nutrients to the native reptilian megafauna. These were massive creatures capable of destroying entire towns if provoked that resembled the ancient Terran dinosaurs. It was up to the knights of the planet to defend the human settlements from these deadly creatures. Isolated within the grip of the Grell Abyss, Baroda was spared from outside influence and alien assaults during the Age of Strife, but suffered from terrible climate storms. Having been colonized during the Dark Age of technology, most of Baroda's easily accessible mineral resources had been exploited in millennia past, resulting in an ever-increasing lack of resources, which led in turn to frequent clashes between its night houses for power and control. The lack of resources ultimately kindled a full-scale war between the night houses for possession of the last minerals and stormproof fortress refineries, many knights being now powered by reverse-engineered petrochem engines. This civil war would last for Terran centuries, ending in the late 30th millennium, with the fall of the last stronghold of House Wentworth. It left House Makabius as the sole ruler over Baroda's storm-tossed oceans. By the time Baroda was reclaimed by the Imperium, even the surviving Makabius knights had been reduced to fossil fuel-burning, ill-repaired hybrids of what had come before. While rejoining the Imperium and contact with the Mechanicum rejuvenated Baroda's technology and gave it a place from something greater, its isolation in the Grell Abyss still served to keep it far from regular contact and influence. This integration wasn't, however, obtained peacefully, as the warlike and proud House Makabius refused to simply submit to these strangers from another world. Battle was joined by Arbin Moore, when the Astartes of the Imperial Fist Legion swiftly defeated the pride of House Makabius' knight in a ritual battle. Praised for their tenacity by the Imperial Fist, but ultimately denied an important role at the forefront of the Great Crusade due to its neglected state, House Makabius was left with no other choice than to stay behind on their homeworld and slowly rebuild. In the years that followed, the flower of Baroda's noble youth fled the world, its young knights joining the forces of the Great Crusade as Quaestores, never to return. Many turned Freeblade if they were forbidden by their lords in a vain attempt to stall the Exodus. Tension eventually mounted between House Makabius and the recently rediscovered House Vironi, which they saw as a rival for the patronage of Forge World Mizoa, to whom both the houses looked for supplies and equipment. Sadly, open war was purely avoided by the Makabius' lack of interstellar transportation and functional knight armor. It would be then that one of the exiled knights of Makabius, Markin Hrothman, would distinguish himself. He drew the attention of War Master Horus. Already turned traitor, it would prove easy for Horus and his agents to prey upon the resentment of House Makabius and make them renounce their oath of fealty to the Emperor. With the War Master's new favor, Baroda and House Makabius entered a short period of prosperity. As would later be realized by the Imperial historians, the military buildup of House Makabius would be part of the opening moves of Horus's rebellion, and it was achieved shortly before the Isstvan III atrocity. Having denounced its ties to the Forge World of Mizoa, new knight armor and weapons flowed from the War Master's Dark Mechanicum allies to Baroda, and House Makabius quickly grew stronger. As the Imperium tore itself apart in the catastrophic event of the heresy, House Makabius naturally sided with their new patron and benefactor, the traitor War Master Horus. In the closing days of the 31st millennium, the war reached the Coronate Deeps. By then, Baroda was already on a war footing, eager to cover itself in glory in this new war that was now erupting across the Imperium. Only a few months later, a great war fleet arrived in orbit of Baroda. As the Knights of House Makabius assembled, ready to join the armies of the War Master, they were instead confronted by Mortarion, the Lord of the Death Guard Legion. Granted authority by the War Master, Mortarion took command of House Makabius and all of its assets, ordering Baroda stripped of all remaining resources, both mineral and human, in order to supply his own fleets, and he assigned the warriors of the Night House as shock assault troops for his grim legion. The leader of House Makabius, Lord Protector Markin, was summoned to attend the Primarch personally, and he was never seen from again, though it is said that his throne mechanicum chambers were sealed from the outside and was cited in several battles during the heresy, fighting with a measure of savagery like no other. Lacking Markin's direct leadership, the only option for the Makabius house was participating in dark compliance actions. And as the warriors of the house left Baroda behind, its gutted carcass remained as a grim example of the Reaper's method. All its dreams of glory were given over to Mortarion's campaign of genocidal destruction. It is rumored that recently the corrupted sigil of House Makabius has been spotted during the Plague Wars, where the demon Primarch Mortarion launched an all-out assault on the realm of Ultramar. These Chaos Knights are coated in living rust and grotesque mutations that appear both painful and disgusting. They are some of the most resilient fighters, however, and their depleted and decaying armor should not be underestimated. These demonic engines of war are capable of destroying entire armored regiments in a disgusting fury of acidic warp flames. And that's the lore to House Makabius. I hope this video inspires you guys to bring in a Chaos Knight into your army. If you are a Chaos Undivided player, converting a Knight is not that hard. If you have a Plague Marine army, so if you're a Death Guard player or even a Nurgle Demon player, introducing or including some type of converted Chaos Nurgle Knight would be absolutely awesome. Now let's move on to the community portion. So I'm going to be answering the questions and the comments that you guys left off in yesterday's 40 Facts video, 40 Facts and Lore on Nurgle's Champions. So we're continuing the whole Nurgle theme. So this first question comes from FSlayer1290. I'm only into 40k for the lore, and sir, you make it immersive, memorable, and fun. Thank you. That's really good to hear, especially because the whole purpose of making these 40 Facts videos is to encourage people to continue to play the game. That's the reason, back in the day, I started listening to this guy on YouTube called Vaults of Terra, and he his daily, that wasn't daily, I think it was weekly or maybe monthly videos on the lore would inspire me to paint my miniatures or get my friends to talk about 40k. And that's how we continue to play the game. So the fact that you're just here for the lore, you still enjoy it, it's absolutely awesome. Thanks for watching. This next question comes from Fox the Beast. Why do you, Gersh, refuse to believe your voice is sexy? Chicks and some guys dig the rasp. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that there are guys who dig and chicks that dig the rasp. It's painful though. It's really hurts. So sexy or not, pain is pain, and I don't like pain. Next question comes from Mr. Beef. Is the Eye of Terror like a black hole, and could it eventually overtake the galaxy? Yeah, kind of. It does suck. Well, no, because a black hole sucks in matter that has that has weight, so it absorbs things that get close enough to it. It might slowly get bigger as more things go in because the weight of it gets heavier. But the Eye of Terror is not exactly like that. It's expanding, but it's expanding, or it was expanding. It was expanding slightly because of the machinations of chaos, and the actual like pylons on Cadia were holding it back. That's what it was like. Those were pushing it back, but it wasn't growing because of the mass that was being included into the warp. It was growing because of the power that the warp was gaining from all of the psychic beings in the galaxy and stuff like that. So they're similar, but not really. And now with the Cicatrice Maledictum, so after Cadia fell, that giant gash across the galaxy, we saw that the Eye of Terror grew, but it wasn't to the point where like it engulfed the entire galaxy. Ultimately, that is what Chaos wants. They want the material world to be in the warp, or for them to come out and do their thing outside of the warp. So similar, but different. Next question comes from Fox the Beast. Real question without the gay thirst. What is your favorite rule/lore from older editions? Also, if you do the shot thing... Okay, so let's answer that first. My favorite rule, I think, is wound allocations. I remember how I used to have a knob biker unit, so it was, I think, about 7 or 8 knobs, and they wouldn't die. Like, I would jump from one unit to the next unit, just destroying, just absolutely, like, tearing things apart. And my opponent could not kill this unit of mega armored knobs. Or no, knobs on bikes. But yeah, so that was my favorite rule. I don't really think that I would want it to come back. I like the fact that wound allocation isn't a thing, because when I would get that used against me, that would be really annoying. And then you say, also, if you do the shot thing, what would you be taking shots of? I'm a whiskey man myself. If we do the shot thing, so what last 40 Facts video I said it would be fun to put like my Venmo or whatever other online payment thing that I could put up there, kind of like the chicks on TikTok do, and then you guys could buy us a drink with those little like tags and stuff like that. So it'd really be up to you, and I'm guessing you could leave comments when you make a payment, like this is a payment for popcorn, or this is a payment because I owed you lunch, or something like that. So like if that is something that we can do, then you would say, here's this, so that you guys could take a shot of whiskey or whatever. So it's really your call, what you would make us take a shot of. And I don't know if we're actually going to do that, because then that means I have to put in work and do all that other stuff, which is just opening up a Venmo for One Mind Syndicate. Next question comes from David Ochoa. I customized all my Plague Marine champions. My favorite is named Repeat. What fits the bill? Tentacle horns and pus-filled sacks riddled the right side of his body. The left side has a poxwalker exploding out of the left arm, broken arm. It's a left broken arm, and tentacles gripping a bolt gun. That sounds really awesome, really cool conversion. You should have dropped your Instagram name or something, so that we could have taken a look at your work. And then you say, your videos, mostly Nurgles, inspire me to assemble a truly repulsive army in the name of Papa Nurgle. That's awesome. It's really good to hear. I've always been drawn to kit bashing Nurgle, because I feel like anything Nurgle is kind of like the orcs. It's very easy to kit bash, and if you mess up, it doesn't really matter, because it's supposed to look grotesque and mutated and disgusting. So it's awesome that you do. But in the future, if you guys do any type of custom work, painting, kit bashing, anything like that, drop your tag, like whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, so that other people in the community can check out your work and stuff. Next comment comes from Leon Hart. The best gift of Nurgle would be a massively swelled intestine. You see, if you're careful and sneaky enough, you can belly flop an Inquisitor. Yeah, if you have like a huge bloated stomach, that's kind of cartoony though. I wouldn't want that. I'd still want something grim dark, like maybe an intestine that pops and like acids squirts out, or like a segmented intestine or something like that. That would be kind of cool. Next question comes from Chris Perkins. Or this isn't really a question, but love your stuff. Oh yeah, it is. Okay, so I love your stuff. I just got an Eldar army from a friend and need to repaint it. Do you think it's worth it, or should I just get new models? Thanks, and keep up the great work. It depends on how much work you want to put into it. If you don't mind stripping the paint, then go for it. But if you want to get things done quickly, then yeah, it is just cheaper or it is better for you just to buy new models. Also, like their paint job might not be that bad. I bought an Eldar army from the Sound Alchemist. He didn't paint it, but he glued it, and the glue wasn't very good. I've been trying to get those pieces unstuck since, I don't know, a really long time. It might have even been last year. I'm not even sure. I can't remember. But yeah, so it's completely up to you. If you have the time and you can get it for cheap, get it. If time is important to you, then might as well just get new stuff. This next question comes from Benjamin von Vensen. Whole lot of top knot going on. Yeah, most models in 40K do have top knots, and I don't, I think it's an aesthetic of like back in the day, like that Mad Max kind of feel and all that kind of stuff. What's the dude from He-Man? What's his name? The artist, something, I can't remember, but there's like an artist that would draw most of his warriors with a top knot. And that goes back to like warriors of a certain area and stuff like that. But yeah, and those are the questions for today, or the comments for today. If you guys have more, just comment down in the comments section below. If I didn't get to your question, I'm sorry. I know I'm answering this a little bit early. I posted the video a little bit late, and I'm recording a little bit early, but I hope to hear from you guys tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for listening, and yeah, see you later. This is Gershwin with One Mind Syndicate, signing out.